What's today's mathematics?
Build, destroy. To build is to elevate the mentalities of self and those around self. To add positive energy to every nation. To build, you must first start from the root, which is the knowledge foundation, and add on to the highest peak. To destroy is to eliminate and destroy any and all negativity that enters my cipher of supreme harmony.
Destruct sequence completed and engaged. Awaiting final code.
Code 0, 0, 0. Destruct. 0.
Destruct sequence is activated.
Welcome to the Melanated World Network. Produced by DM3 Entertainment. You are now tuned in to the Think Tank Podcast. About to listen to three brothers who have been friends for over 30 years speak on many different topics. So sit back, relax, and you just might learn something. What's up, world? What's up? We back again. It's Friday, and we now on episode 3. I'd like to thank those who have tuned in and ready to rock and roll. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to have a recap. My brother number one, Terrell's going to recap us on what happened last week. And I'd like to thank all 60 people who did tune in and watch the video. And as time goes on, the number's going to get bigger. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
You take it off.
You know what, bro? Look, I'm excited to be here. Greetings to everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Kim Hotep. All of the greetings. Peace and blessings. You know, last time we was talking about attachment, brother. And I had to come back on this week because the last time I said I had it, of course, y'all know my fiance died like 6 weeks ago. And about 8 weeks ago now. And I wasn't going on a date. And so I called myself, bruh, saying, okay, let's be friends with a sister or two. Let's go to breakfast, just friend, Let's go get a drink, just friends. And she got attached. So okay, so I cut her off. I'm like, I ain't trying to be all like that. So I started dating. Well, not dating. I started with another sister, a beautiful queen, black woman, and
Black, my black queen to
melanated.
be.
And I just love the natural oils in the black woman. I just have to have the oils. So anyway, so I'm said, okay, I'm talking with this other sister. Let's go get some breakfast. We're all friends. Let's go get a drink or two. We all friends. And I'm like, no attachment. And guess what happened, brother Ab?
Clink,
Guess what
clink.
happened?
Attachment. Was the
But
attachment?
guess who got attached?
The conductor got attached this time.
I got attached. Yo, bruh.
Yeah.
I'm talking all of this big Billy Willie talk about this other young lady, how she got attached and I cut her off.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm dealing with this other sister. And then I get attached. And I'm like calling. I'm like, yo, who that brother? Who, what, blah, blah, blah. Where you at? Blah, blah, blah. So I'm doing the same thing that the other girl that I was upset against. And I'm thinking, okay, God, you got me now, God. If this, like God's finally saying, look, Rails, you're not perfect. So I get attached now.
So Bible now, a little lesson, right? Go ahead.
Bruh, be careful of what you say to others because it's going to come on you. So now I'm attached. The old girl was to cut it off, the new one, and I'm in my feelings. I'm like, hold on, what's up? So, but it was a reminder that it's human nature. Now, what I said last week about attachment and all of that, I can't be a hypocrite. Now that I can say it's human nature to get attached, both men and female. If the vibe is right, if everything is right, and I got attached, and I feel like, yo, I tried to cut it off, and I did, but I really didn't. Because after this show, guess who I'm calling?
The attachment.
The attachment. But I did call old girl the first one, and I apologized. I was like, yo, I'm glad you kept it real. I was wrong. And it's human nature to get attached. Now, the first sister was talking about how I'm letting go all my brothers that I've been messing with because it's wrong for you. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Nah. But now this other one, I'm saying, who that nigga? Excuse my language, brother. Who that dude? You got we got something. Cut that off. So now I'm attached. And everything I accused the other young lady of, I'm doing. So I did call and I apologized to her. And I was thankful. And I said, thank you, sister, to the first sister. I said, thank you for telling me all of the brothers that you were dealing with. It was open. Because in this new situation I'm in, I want the openness. I want her to be like, yo, me and him cool, or me and him this. I want that now. And so it's just strange that human nature, both male and female,
can get attached.
Yeah.
But one thing while you were talking that I realized is that at least one beautiful thing about the first sister you was talking about, at least she was being respectful. She was being honorable. I guess the energy that you were giving out, she was like, well, I want to do something right this time. I don't want to be juggling a whole bunch of dudes. So I think I found a young man that I could rock with. So let me put my ducks in ducks in order. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So when I cut off on the first one, I cut back hard and said, you were right. And I appreciate the open and honesty to say, if we say we are friends, if we're going to label this thing as friends, then I think it's right for me to know to some extent who you're dealing with. And I should be also upfront to say who I'm dealing with. Because I said to her, this is who I'm dealing with. Because no one wants to be in a situation where people are around you and you're in a situation where you don't know what's going on and you're looking like a fool. Because no one wants to be a fool. Even though, as the old cut says, everyone plays a fool. But we're adults now. So now in my new situation, I'm like, who's that in the background talking? And she was like, nobody. But see, the first one who I cut off, and I'm like, yo, you wrong, blah, blah, blah. She was up front. So now I'm appreciating the first sister for being open because, you don't ever want to be blind, and you appreciate a sister who don't let you be blind. But we all get attached. It's human natures. And for me, to the audience, I'm not perfect. And I got to live with that, Brother Ab. See, when the creator said to me, you're not perfect, it wasn't like a humiliation thing or he was beating me down. It was, Rels, I made you imperfect. Till the day you die, you're going to have those imperfections. You cannot outgrow it. You cannot outlearn it. You cannot. The only way is you have, and I've learned, I have to finally say till I die, these are my imperfections. I do get attached. And this might be some more imperfections, but I can't change those imperfections. Now, God is saying with those imperfections, if someone gravitate towards you and they love you for those imperfections, maybe the love is real because we all have imperfections. And when somebody loves you for your imperfections, I think that's God saying that's how the human team, the human element work with friendships and relationships. That's whatever I fall short at, there's going to be a mate that helps me with that, and her too. She may fall short at something, and so I come in and we balance each other. But we all are imperfect. So in any relationship, you got an imperfect man and an imperfect woman. And there go our brother Mo, our brother Solomon. There you go.
In the building, baby. In the
In
building.
the building.
See, that's a hardworking man. He comes in late. We got a little nickname for him. That's David Ruffin. David is out there handling his business, singing to the ladies.
Just call me Otis.
Otis.
I'm live now, baby.
My good brother there. Good to see you. Missed you last week, but good to see you.
Yeah. But it's
I'm in
good
the building, baby. I'm setting up.
It's good the brothers is all back together. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
The band is back together.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, ask you about the young lady number 2. Now, is she okay with you trying to be attached?
Well, nah, I mean, we started arguing because I'm trying to throw my domain on, and she's trying to maintain her domain, and so we arguing, and I finally, a woman is a reflection of a man. Whatever the man do, the woman is going to magnify. You give a woman.
That's a fact.
That's a fact, right? So you give a woman a seed, she's going to give you an 8-pound baby. You give her a home, she's going to give you a house. You give her a little piece of grief, she's going to give you a whole lot of hell. Yeah. And so, so right there where we at, we
what
argue.
What did our brother Luther used to say? A house is not a home.
Right. And so she's arguing, I'm arguing, and I realized all of that arguing was only us setting boundaries. So, for the audience, when y'all arguing, realize is you trying to set your boundaries and she's trying to set her boundaries, because in any relationship, you still need boundaries. Yes. And boundaries don't go, even if you're married. She has her boundaries, you have your boundaries. So I guess in all of that, us arguing, and I said to her, I said, look, man, if you never call me again, I'm good and I'm on it. If you never called me, I was strong. I hung up.
Yeah. And I think that's I was gonna say
But
as men.
hold
Go ahead,
up,
go ahead.
bro. Hold up.
Okay, go ahead.
After I
apologize.
hung up, I was ready to call him back. I was strong, and I'm still ready to call him back. But it was set boundaries. But it was just we just setting boundaries, and yeah, I miss her. But hell, But anyway, attachment is across the board, man. Human nature, you get attached,
Yeah.
man. So I'm
And
going to
then that
back
thing you
off
said,
that.
yeah. And then that thing you said earlier, we're all human. No one's perfect but the creator.
True.
People got to realize that. And I think we just learn to be accountable for what we do,
Right. So
Yeah.
that's my episode. But after this show, I'm gonna call her.
Hello. Is it me you're looking for?
Boy, you better have a brother over there either, or a sister. Because look, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just beat up in the game. I'm beat up in the process. I have no game.
Oh wait, so y'all ready to start the show?
Let's
Let's
get it
get it
on.
started.
All right. As y'all know, I'm gonna throw up the question, and then I'm gonna hit y'all with a clip, and then we're gonna talk about it, right? So, the first topic of the show today is: should melanated women allow their fathers or a male relative choose their mate? Right now, y'all hold on to that while I'm about to give y'all this little video clip, and then we can talk about it because it relates to what's going on. Here we go.
27. 27, Chicago. You have any kids? Yes, I do. I have 3 daughters. 6, 5, and 3. All by the same man? No. I got 2 different baby fathers. Why you not with the 3-year-old dad? He was a sneaky link. He younger than me. I thought it was my first baby daddy's baby, and it wasn't. I know. I was in a relationship with my first baby daddy, so he had got locked up, and then I was messing with the other dude, and yeah.
If 6 out of 10 black men reach the middle class or become rich by the time they reach the middle age, and black American women seem to be able to only pick losers, it means that you're horrible at picking black men. You're in a room full of 10 black men, and it's 2 suckers in there that's dead broke and ain't never gonna do nothing. And those are the 2 you pick to have children with. These are the losers that all you women are complaining about. So you were having sex with them at the same time? 2 weeks apart. So what pregnancy did you think it was your baby daddy? Yeah, but I told both of them, like, it was possible it could be you or you. And your baby daddy was in jail? Yeah. If 6 out of 10 men in the room are going to be winners, and you as a woman pick one of the 4 men left who are going to be losers or just poor, that means you're horrible at judging men and their future success that they might have.
All right, so I had to hit that clip for y'all just to give you an idea of why I came up with that question. Me, I be on social media and I come across things, and I don't just watch idiot stuff. I watch things trying to open up the brain. So, me being Muslim, we know that it's in our studies that it says that the father should give his daughter away. But if the father is dead or there is no father, then it goes to the next oldest adult that's related to you. So I was like, okay, let me see what my brothers think about this. And you see the young lady, how she just got all jammed up because she didn't have nobody picking, she didn't, I guess she don't have a father or an adult male to pick a good mate for her. And then you see how the brother gave the statistics of how you can have 20 brothers in the room and the sister always go pick the knucklehead. So that's all I'm gonna say, and then y'all go ahead from there.
Mo, go ahead and get that one, brother Mo. You turn sideways, bro.
Yeah, turn your camera back.
Turn your camera back, bro. There you go. Where did he go?
Yeah, he disappeared on us.
Yeah.
The question was too hot for him.
Yeah, he ran from that. As a father, I wished I had picked my daughter's mates when she was younger. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times the mother thought that she had a better gauge And I feel bad because I used to always say that nigga, excuse my language, that brother ain't right for you. And I can pick him because I know myself. I know what I was after. But you know that charm, and mothers tend to think they know what's best for their daughters.
I'm listening.
And I say to the mother, if you pick me, you really don't know because I was all that good. But yet, I absolutely think that a sister should have a male person, whether it's an uncle, a father, or a male figure, to say, "Yo, you may don't want to hear the language of pick your mate," because in Islam, you bring them, and the brother has to go in front of the males, and I think that's a standing tradition. Whoever that sister meets, that brother should go in front of the male men and hang out with them, and then we see what you're made of, and we can dissect and see if you're mature enough to handle um, our precious cargo, because it's not about the greatness of the man, it's about the precious cargo of the sister. And so yes, I think that each sister you should have, but you know what, the sisters know that, the good sisters know that I need to have a family, male family member, but that puts a responsibility on the men in the family to say, I'm not a drunkard, I'm not an alcoholic, I'm not a sexaholic. That what what I am is suitable enough to say, baby girl, no, this brother ain't for you. But if me as a man, I lose all of that responsibility to tell my daughter or my niece who to choose. If I'm beat up, if I'm an alcoholic, a sexaholic, or if I'm not no damn good.
Mm-hmm.
So we that question actually puts the responsibility on the man to say, brother, shape up, and not just a good shape up hairline, but character wise.
Definitely.
Shape
Before I
up.
chime in, I want to hear what Brother Mo has to say about it. And the reason
Well,
why before you give, I was going to say we're all fathers, so we
yeah,
definitely have a good point of view because we all fathers. So go ahead.
of girls. We all fathers of girls.
Yeah.
Um, to, my 2 cents on that is nearly 54% of white America is married, and only 31% of black population is married. So technically speaking, for numbers' sake, there's only 1/3 of the black folks that you meet, male or female, that will be married, right? Let's take away religion. Let's take away any things that we can't factualize and make it facts. And those facts are, we're not training our boys. Those facts are, we're not training our girls. Be honest with yourself. You ain't got to answer. Did you sit your boy down and say, look, keep your Peter in your pants, only have one at a time, don't be out here moving around like the way you move around? Did your wife, spouse, significant other teach your daughter? If you're gonna pick a man, pick one like your dad. More likely, she said, if you're gonna pick a man, don't pick him like your father. Because at some point in time, we look at our spouse or significant other as, uh, right? No one's training from the bottom up, but there's certain cultures and communities that are training from the bottom up. That's why you get those arranged marriages. That's why you have communities where people thrive because they continue to marry each other. For example, let's take the rich. The rich will always marry rich, and the poor will always marry the poor. The possibility of the poor marrying rich is far and slim. So you got to ask yourself, this young lady he was talking, first off, when you select the men that's in jail, that ought to tell you something about her character building as stages in her youth. No one ever told her, stay away from these men that are behind bars. And then on top of that, no one told that man that was in jail that, look, you got a child now. You can't be going to jail because you got to feed your child. So the facts are, no one's training nobody and no one's teaching nobody to choose a good mate, because the families are broken up, because we can't come together as one, stay together long term, or stay together long term and commit to each other, even though we're in different households. I tell the story about my daughter. I said to her for years, don't bring me home no bums. Don't bring me home no bums. Don't bring me home no bums. So one day she said, Dad, what is a bum? Good question, because now I get to tell you. A bum is a man. Ain't got a job, ain't got his own car, ain't got his own place, nor do he have, at minimum, some type of certification or education. He's a bum. Because now, without those tools, without those miniature tools, such as something basic, the basic necessities of a house, a car, a job, and education. Education means I get paid more. I'm certified at plumbing, electrical, AC. I have a vehicle to get me back and forth to work. At least 2 year minimum on each one of those platforms, because we know what 2 years take. If you got a car for 2 years, you're gonna change that oil, change them tires, tune up that engine. You're gonna do a lot of things of responsibility to that car. If you got a house, paying the rent, paying electric, paying the water, doing all things to keep that house, responsibility, washing clothes, keeping the house in order. 2 years of education, that means that for 2 years you sacrificed yourself and did something, be it from a barber school to a associate's degree in whatever it is. That takes getting up every morning. It takes hard resilience, persistence, getting up every day when you didn't want to get up and going to do what you need to do. Staying on the job. We all know about jobs. I hate this job. It's not you hate the job, you hate that person, your boss or your coworkers, whatever. But you still went there because the bills got to get paid for that car and that house and that tuition for the education. So now that's a foundation. That's just a foundation. And you can build everything else on top of that. But other than that, who is telling our little girls, stay away from men in jail? Stay away from the bad boys. There are two phrases: Father Time and Mother Nature. Mother Nature gives you beauty for approximately 18 years. From 1836, you're probably at the peak of your beauty and your essence, right? That's Mother Nature. But see what Father Time did for a man? In about 18 years, he's coming into himself, meaning financially, emotionally, psychologically, etc., etc. These are facts. I mean, these are human facts. How long did it take for you to develop the mind you developed? We wasn't there at 18, but more so about 36, we kind of got our stuff together. We got, okay, we good. So then I'm asking, where's that 36-year-old man train that 36-year-old, that 18-year-old boy or that 18-year-old girl of how to do this thing and to do it right? So when I see those videos, when I hear people speak, I ask myself, what have you been doing with yourself? Because if you really think about this, the platform is about 25 years. Let's just start at 18 as the number. You go to college, you go to military, you go to trade school, or you get a job. So now for the next 4 years, you're training at something. You're 4 years on the job, 4 years outside the military, 4 years of your education. So now I'm 22 years old approximately. You first buy your house when you're about 35, 45 years old, when you save enough money. You probably moved up in a company, you got a little something going on. So now by the time you're 45, you got a car, a house, you're there. That's what Father Time is giving you as a man. But look what he did for her. She done had 2, 3 babies. She done been through the mill a little bit, and now she's 45, thinking that she's still 25, when in essence, it's over. Because Father Time has robbed you of what you have. So you got to ask the question, are you training your future children? Because if you show me your children, I'll show you your future. If you 18, 19 years old, still party, still mess around, listen, we all did it. Let's be honest with ourselves. But for those men who are focused, you may party and play a little bit, but just as hard as you party, just as hard as you got to go to work the next morning. No matter how tired you was, no matter Monday, Tuesday, whatever night of the week it was, chasing women, chasing money, whatever it is. But they know they say, right? A man who chases money will never chase women. But a man who chases women will never have money. So you got to ask yourself when you're speaking to someone strategically at our age, at 50, at minimum 50, what have you been doing for the last 25 years? First started, most men around 50 got a kid or two. Most men around 50 has been married once or twice. So then you ask yourself, what have you been doing to train your child to rise above the education? Meaning not necessarily academically, but the education of life, because common sense, it far supersedes any degree you could ever get. Because without common sense, that degree is useless. So when you hear women, no matter what race, age, color,
That's
whatever,
a fact.
at a certain particular age, you ask yourself, what are you doing? What have you done lately? When in my particular experiences, when people come to me, they're 36 years old, don't got a job, don't got a driver license. Oh, pump your brakes, pump your brakes. What the hell you been doing? What have you been doing with yourself? Little to nothing. Moving around from job to job like a kangaroo, jumping here, jumping there. You ain't certified, you ain't bona fide in nothing. So then your lifestyle is indicative of what you're training your children to be the next go around. So then you ask, you know, why is my child in jail? Why my child ain't doing right? Well, guess what? You can't do right because most children only follow what they see. If they see the mama getting up every day going to get it, they see daddy getting up every day to go get it, more than likely they're gonna want a man the same way because that's what they know as a man as a woman. But if
So
you, but I mean, listen,
back
I'm
to
gonna
the
always say let's
question.
use.
I think Ray wanted to add a little something.
Yeah, well, back to the question is: should a melanated woman allow their fathers or a male relative to choose their mate? After hearing your story, brother, and how these brothers can go off kilter, man, you just painted a picture, beloved, of a brother becoming a man that had become no damn good. So, sisters, if you heard my brother Mo speak, you would say, God damn, I hope someone intervened. And you painted a beautiful picture of 36 and on. But these young ladies, they're in their 20s and they can only see the 25. They're not seeing all of that from what you painted. We see it. And no matter
That's
how
our
much
job.
we talk to them, they don't see it.
Well, a
Let
hard
me.
head will make a soft ass.
Yeah. Could
But by
I?
that time it's too late. And so
Yeah.
so I guess the question, even with the question is, how do you even as a man say to your niece or your daughter, avoid this kind of brother that Mo just described?
Yeah.
And can I detect and say at 17, that brother that's 17, 18, 19, oh, he's going to be like what brother Mo described.
Yeah.
We can't
But that's
predict the
just
future. We can't tell what will happen, but we must be like farmers. Regardless, we got to go out and plant, whether the sun is up or the rain is coming. We must plant seeds of the future. You can't control it unless you plant seeds for it. Now, again, let's use the 80-20 rule. 80-20. 20% of the people might make it, 20% might not. 80% of people, so depending on what the conversation is about. So what I'm saying to you is, as an uncle or a father, hey, little niece, whatever the conversation might be, have it. Now, if there's an absence of a father, we must come together as men and act as men and be mature as men, especially when we 36 and above. Because
but
now
the sisters that we're talking about right now, who based on this question, for me, I'm looking at a 17 was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year old girl who needs to be given guidance at that moment. So you're on an advanced class for 36-year-olds on up. But now, can we go to these 17-year-old nieces and really, because a lot of times our language is so advanced that that the young ladies at 17, they don't want to hear it because the first thing they say is he don't know what he's talking about. So as a man, can we actually touch the minds of a 17-year-old girl where they will actually listen to us?
Well, can I interject
And
real
trust
quick?
you?
Want to interject. This is where this where the example comes in. If you're uncle or we're fathers, our daughters watched us do what we do. They can never say, "Oh, my dad was a lazy bum. He ain't never go to work." They can never say, "Oh, my dad is an alcoholic. He drink too much." They can never say, "My dad's a drug addict. Or he beats women." They didn't see none of that from us. So that you be the example. So when they growing up, they seeing it like Mo said. His daughter said, "What's a bum?" Because she never saw a bum because her father wasn't a bum. And then I understand that somebody might watch it and say, "Well, I ain't got no daddy." That's why I said male family member, right? Because it can be your older brother that you're introducing this guy that you might like, or let your brother bring a guy to you. Because because you like you said, men, we know ourselves. We know we know a sucker when we see one. We know a player when we see one. We know who just trying to get in girls' pants, you know? And just to let you know, it's not just for men only, even though the question is about men. Young boys should be asking their mama and their sisters, yo, is this girl worth messing with? It should be a family choosing it. It shouldn't just be you as an individual saying, oh man, she fine. Let me go holler at her. Or the same thing, she go, oh, he's so lovely. I love him. You know, that's what they do, right? I love him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What I'm on top of that, right? At what point do we grow up? At what point do we carry ourselves in outside of ourselves? Meaning, we all came from certain single mom backgrounds, certain city situations, right?
Yes.
We all know that. Who is not telling any one of us or any boy, yo man, go sell drugs and go to jail? Yo man, go be a player, man. Go be this, go be that. Now don't get me wrong, those conversations are had. But who is honestly telling their boy, go be a player, go to jail, go sell drugs? Most times drugs are sold out of necessity. They're not sold because, oh, I just want to see what it's like. Most times you're selling drugs because the household incomes are really below and you need an outside source, and it might be the black market. So when you have to go back and talk to your 18-year-old and you say something like, oh, he don't know what you hear something like he don't know what he's talking about. You only are the messenger. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. How many times can you look back at your life and say, damn, my mom told me that, my uncle told me that, my teacher told me that, somebody told you something that now the worlds collide of what you was told versus what is happening, and damn, look where I'm at. So I don't disagree with either one of you just saying. I totally agree with what you're saying, but I believe that as men, especially once you start bearing children, if a child can't get your ass in gear, then I don't know what else will. We all
I
come from different
agree.
circumstances. Every house is
Yeah.
a different house. No two houses are the same. My mom raised me different than you. Mom raised you. Your mom raised you different, but similar the same. We all are the same. So when you look to the future and you look and you see a woman with 5, 6 different kids, 5, 6 different baby mamas, baby daddies, you ask the question, what happened?
Yeah.
I'm gonna always say she was looking for love in all the wrong places. How do a
Yeah.
pimp mesmerize a young girl and take her body, get it sold, and put it in his pockets, and she come home willingly to do that? How do you still going out here selling dope and drugs, knowing damn well where you're going? Once you
Yeah.
At what point are you a man? At what point do you grow up? At what point did you put your feet on the ground and walk forward and say, I gotta change my life because I have a seed now and I gotta do the right thing? And I know both of you men for a long time that when your child came to this earth, the only thing you came to your brain was food, clothing, shelter. This is what I must provide. Everything else on top of that will be gravy. So
Yeah.
now you got to be in a good direction, a mental state of mind, and moving forward. Now the 80-20 rule kicks in again. There will be and I'll be honest with you, there are more good dads than there is bad dads. Statistically, it's proven that more black men take care of their children than just like anybody else. But it's
Yeah.
gonna be that small percent that literally, if you really get to the nuances of these small communities, these small places, there one man having multiple baby mamas, where that other man is having one child, two child by one woman. A
Yeah.
man that's got
But you know what? Two points I want to interject. A man is never a man until he's 40. That's in the Quran. A man ain't a man until he's 40. But also there was three things, and I hope I say this right, that the
okay.
Caucasian, and you said why you said the Caucasian, because we came from slavery. The Caucasian said he would never teach the black man business. He would never teach him the art of war. And he would never teach the black man or the black woman the art of mating. And you said, what you mean the art of mating? If you own some horses, some thoroughbred horses, you know the art of mating. If you are into having a prized dog, you know the art of mating. And if you was a slave owner, you knew the art of mating, where genetically I can get this particular offspring and make them docile. That's why the slaves that was brought to America was different than the slaves that was taken to Jamaica. Because the slaves taken to Jamaica, they was a little hostile. And the slaves taken to America was docile. And so they knew the art of mating. And if you understood a horse, and if you understood a dog, did you understand? They knew how to mate us as slaves here on American soil to get a docile slave. So there's an art of mating that they said they'd never teach us. They'd never teach us that. And so with that art, can we get to the science of mating? Not the science of sex or the science of want. And for most young girls, the first thing they want is the lavish lifestyles they see on MTV or television. And you may not, and so they're going to naturally be attracted to a brother who they think can get her that lifestyle. And so go ahead, brother. But that art of mating is a science that we never was given.
I totally agree what you're saying, because I believe a lot of our bad habits stem out of slavery. You know, we've been on this wilderness for over 400 years now, and I do believe that a lot of bad habits that we have has come out of slavery. I do, and when it comes to the family cohesiveness, I will say yes. But you can take historical data and you say in the 60s we had more families living together as one than we do right now. But if you take the statistics of single moms, it's going to, the higher number will be 45% in the Black community, 21% in the Latino community, and 13% in other communities. The question is why? Yeah. I would say again, it stems out of slavery.
Well, but you know what? Hold up now. Let's talk about it now. Our brother Jesus, if you look at it, he was born in the projects in Major. He didn't know who his dad was. So that whole system of but if all that said, even though we may not know the system of mating, God knew the system of mating. And there was a Messiah created in the projects named Jesus, based on a woman whose biological father, was not the one raising them. Joseph. So even in all of that, God has a way of saying, I'm going to produce this seed, but I have to hide that seed. So there are children in the projects born under strange situations. Now, first of all, the Bible and the Quran was never given to rich men. It was always given to poor men. All of the prophets was raised up from poor circumstances. So going to the ghetto and going to the hood, even though we can't really manipulate our community and be the best father, be the best dad, there's always going to be a child born that is born with the grace of God to change and make the society of Black men and women the way it's supposed to be. So with all of our wrongdoings, God has enough love to say, I will still produce that Jesus. I'll still produce that Messiah. And the parents may not be all that cracked up to be. But sometimes accidents happen, as we say, sexidents, and that child grows up to be a great person. Like Shaq, he doesn't really kick with his biological father. And so, my father died when I was 2, but I grew up to be a great father because the absence of a father made me say, I'm going to be a good father. And so even in all these circumstances, God still have his hands on it.
Okay. What I want to do is I'm going to wrap this one up by just ending it by saying, one, we all know that God is, people call it nature. There are some things that are just naturally put into our inclination. sometimes you don't have to be taught it, but it's in you, and God guides you to do the right things. And that's the thing with us. We all came from bad situations, but God put that inclination inside of us, guided us to be better men, and that's what we did. So we continue like that. And the reason why, young ladies, when I made the question, I said allow, because you young ladies got to understand, you do got to allow someone to help you make a better choice. Especially if you bump your head and you keep bumping your head, you will thank a person for telling you, hey, watch out for that bump. You don't want to bump your head again. So that's the whole thing of having, family members, people who have some sense. Because we're not saying deal with the knuckleheads that ain't got no sense. Don't take no advice from no knucklehead. Take the advice from people who know and have been somewhere. So I just wanted to wrap it up on that one. And Mo had spoke on something earlier, and I would say one thing we try to do with this channel, we're not trying to bash a whole bunch of people. Let's see, my brother with the ice. I'm gonna pause you real quick. So as I was saying, we're not here to bash everybody. We're not here to bash females. We're not here to bash young men. We're just here to give advice, and hopefully those who listen, they heed the warning, and they learn something from what we're trying to tell people. Because us being older brothers, and we've been through the storm, and we trying to continue to go through the storm and help others to get through the same situation. Like, what was it? Harriet Tubman, bring them out. That's what we're trying to do. Help people get out of the nonsense that's going on. So I'm gonna hit you with this next one. Like Mo was talking about earlier about not chasing the ladies and young men. You should have a bigger purpose. So I'm gonna hit you with this, and we're gonna go. The next question says, "Is nope, that's not the one I want to ask for. That's the wrong one. Here it is. My mistake. It says, should you chase women or should you chase your purpose? Right? And now I'm gonna get you. It's just a quick. Before we start talking about it, I'm gonna give you a quick little video.
By chasing the queen, you become the king. By chasing the crown,
I'm gonna say,
don't become the king by chasing the queen. You become the king by chasing the crown.
All right. If you didn't hear that, he said you don't chase the queen. You don't become a king by chasing the queen. You become a king by chasing the crown. And that's what I'm saying. You young men out here, stop chasing the skirts. Chase your purpose. Your purpose is to do a lot of the things Brother Mo was saying. Do you have a car that you had for 2 years before you go chasing a female? Did you have an apartment for 2 years before you go chasing a female? These are the type of things that we're trying to relay to young men and even young ladies. This is the type of stuff that you should be looking for. He shouldn't be chasing your skirt. He should be trying to chase his purpose so he can get himself together. Now, I'm going to let Mo come in and say what he got to say, and I'm going to let Terrell say what they got to say. What do y'all think?
Well, quite honestly, I'm gonna go with purpose, because you got a purpose, you fulfill that purpose, everything else fall in line. I mean, have you ever seen a man with money without a woman?
Nope.
I mean, you got to really think
Unless
about.
he don't want one.
That's true too, very true. But I go back to the visual aids of all of this. Let's be honest. Mathematically, everybody can't make money. Mathematically, somebody has to own the factory and somebody has to work the factory. That's just mathematically how it is. So when you say a purpose, as far as doing right by yourself, gaining knowledge, gaining, things and having a life, right? With all the visual aids such as the videos, the music, the influence, it always seems like we should be chasing money. That's what it always seems like. Trying to get the bag, as they would say. But really, is getting the bag more important than getting your purpose? Because when you think about this, I'm gonna go down with some numbers again. Start at 18, training till you're 22. You got 40 years to work and 4 years to get your education. And that education is whatever it might be. It might be a job, it might be a degree, whatever it might be. So because you're 18, 22, then you're 22 to 40, 40 plus 22 is 62, and 62, that's retirement. I'm just saying on average. I'm just saying. So,
And I was gonna say, and Terrell was saying what you said. What you say? 40 when you become a man? For 40, right? And he
40.
did just,
A man
and he
can't
just
imagine
did the
him at
math,
40.
Yeah.
and he did the
40.
mathematics of it. The 40, right?
Yeah.
So go
So
back.
you take this time to find your purpose. I mean, do you really want to know what you're going to be doing at 62 and trying to figure out, do I get my medications or can I pay my bills? Because
Yeah.
look, by the time he's going to take away our health, Ecclesiastes talks about, remember you're created when you're young because everything else will fall apart. The ears, the hair, the looks, all that stuff going away. And so you got to ask yourself, what did you do for the last 40 years? Well, you quote unquote was in the wilderness of life.
Right.
In the wilderness of life, you got to really know what you're doing now. But again, like you said, it takes us now to know what we're talking about. But let me tell you something about y'all too. We all were talking about this when we were 20, 18, 19. Let's be honest. We were having a lot of fun, but we still were talking about the purpose of what we were going to be doing once we left
That's a fact.
the little schoolyard, right? So we now are where we should be and want to be in our lives. You have to come to terms and the grips with the mirror and say, I am happy with where I've been for the last 25, 40 years.
Yeah.
Because that's at our point at 50, you got more years behind you than ahead of you. So that time, like I say, statistically, most Americans die at 71.7 months or something like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to get it out. But as an African American male, you can probably die around 66. So between now and 66, what you going to really be doing?
Yeah.
I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. I'll leave $1 million on the table and be dead than to live to 100 and be broke. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Facts.
That's a fact.
That's facts.
I believe that we need to, again, to touch on the first conversation, train our children up right. That's Proverbs. They never depart your side. Focus on our purpose of where we're going, what we're doing, and how we're doing it, and bring the next generation along with you. Because again, the teacher will appear when the student is ready. Some people just ain't ready. You could tell a person, they could tell you, oh, I don't want to hear what you say, oh, hey, okay, I'll talk to you at 25. The story of the grasshopper and the turtle, right? It was the grasshopper and the turtle. The race is going to be long. It's going to be arduous. But where will you be when you cross the line? Where will you be? You got to ask yourself. So purpose is more important because once you start defining who you are, I wish the knowledge that I have now I had when I was 25. Maybe I'd be ahead of myself. But if I had a man to tell me something at that time to put in my brain, I'll give you an example. I got a friend of mine back in Philadelphia. He's a veterinarian. And when I was coming through the lodge, the Blue Lodge, he said to us, not necessarily to us, y'all need to go back to school, get your master's degrees. Y'all need to go back to school, do this. And I was like, man, I just got out of school. What are you talking about? I ain't trying to go back to that no more. But what he did say was, do you want to be the same guy 1995 as you are in 2005? And if you're the same guy in 2005 that you was in 95, you wasted 10 years of your life. Because that must be progress. 3, 5, 7, 10, 13, 20, or so on and so forth. There must be progress. Financial progress, mental progress, all those things coming along. You must progress with it. But if you got that person that can drop a seed on you, like, damn, I guess you is right. Because see, with a master's degree, we know how that happens. You elevate it. Or 10 years of working someplace. I'm not a worker. I'm not a supervisor. I'm a manager. I'm a director.
Yeah.
So you come, and even if that's not there, you're still working on yourself. Because in essence, this is the temple you got to work on, starting with the brain. You put nothing in, nothing comes out. I can tell you who you are by the music you listen to and the books that you read, even if you read books. But at some point, you got to put away the toys and pick up the real shit. Taking care of your family, taking care of yourself, taking care of your health, going for a walk, 30-minute walks a day, eating more fruits, eating more vegetables, getting your cholesterol down, getting your diabetes down. So you got to have the purpose is you, and you got to focus on what is that purpose? What is that purpose?
Well, you know what, bro? You know what? Is if you want to make degrees of purpose, Jesus didn't have no degrees, and God's purpose for man.
Well, hold on, family.
God's
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
God,
God
so there's going to
Jesus didn't have a degree. but I'm not trying to use a degree as a purpose. What I'm saying to you, you must elevate. Because if I meet you today and you're a mechanic,
I
10 years
got
later,
that. I
if you
got
don't
that.
own the shop, then what's your purpose?
If I told a young man right now you have to have a degree, then I probably destroyed his purpose that God ordained. First of all, you cannot ever say purpose unless you introduce God, because God gives purpose. Jesus didn't have no degrees.
I think you misconstruing what I said. I think you misconstruing what I said.
Yo, hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out, and that's the double truth, Ruth.
So right. So, but here's. I'm going to relax on that. But when you say purpose,
now I love that. That's my movie. That's my movie.
Yeah, when you say purpose, God gives purpose, and so somebody's purpose may not have nothing to do with a degree, brother.
Okay, you're misconstruing what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm not referring to a degree. I'm referring to elevating yourself.
Okay,
if you ain't got a car when I meet you, get a car.
I got that.
If you ain't got an apartment when I meet you, get an apartment.
Brother, I received
if you ain't got,
brother, I received that. That's one of the great things we can agree on that. My point on the question is this. One of the prayers I say is, God, cause me to be obedient to you, that I may safeguard myself against those things which are fair seeming to men, like the love of women or the hoarding of treasure. If you are Muslim, you understood what I just said. So cause me to be obedient to you, God, that I may not lose my purpose by chasing women or treasures. Because when God gives you a purpose, most people who God gave a purpose are extracted out of society. They don't fit in society. They become a peculiar person. They don't fit in the business world because that's not your purpose. You don't fit into the rat world because that's not your purpose. Moses had a purpose. Jesus had a purpose. So when God gives you a purpose, then you got to understand what was God's purpose for giving you a purpose. And when you think on that level, that's a whole purpose. And so when you say elevate, my elevation is not going to come from Johnson & Wales, or it's going to come from what God says. If you be obedient to me and you do what I ask you to do, this is my purpose for you. And you go on to be whatever God purposed you to be. So back to the question, yeah, you should chase purpose. But if you just allow God to be with you, you're going to serve your purpose. Now I'm going to close on this. My mother had 5 boys, 3 fathers between us. All 3 was Rolling Stones. And she went through the church. She did all of that, and she had a hard life, like all of us mothers have. But at 55, she went back to college to be a psychologist. And when they was teaching some of the stuff that in there, she was like, I've been through childhood. I've been through burying a mother. I've been through burying a child. I've been through homelessness. I've been through these great catastrophes. And so the college said, write a paragraph like we know you could do, take the test, and I'll give you credit. And the college gave her credit. And she grabbed a lot of credits on life experience. So now she's this great psychiatrist, not because of the school, but because of her life's purpose. Now when she goes in front of it, and she gets a lot of clients coming to her because they say the scars of life that you have, you understand my ordeal exactly how it is. And that was her purpose, to turn around and give back to those ordeals in life.
You know what I'm gonna say about that about my mother? You know what about my mom? If she wouldn't have got her degree, she wouldn't be doing her purpose right now.
If
Let
she
me
would have,
If she would have
let me
not
tie.
got her degree,
Okay, all right.
she
Let
wouldn't be
me.
doing her
Yeah.
purpose now.
Okay, let me tie this all together because in actuality, y'all are the same coin, but just two different sides. You know,
I want to be heads. I want to be heads.
what it is that what you're
I've always
what,
been the tail. Black
yeah.
folks have always been
I
the
got you.
tail.
I got you. Now let me reel this in. What Rel is saying is that young men who may pay attention to this show, Brother Mo is not saying you can't have a purpose if you don't go get a degree. He's not saying that. What he's saying, he wants you to elevate. He don't want you sitting on the porch drinking a 40, but I guess this is 2020. I guess brothers is smoking the L or something. But he don't want you being on that same corner that you've been on since you got out of high school and wonder why you can't get a good woman doing something good. He wants you to elevate. And if getting a degree is helping you get an elevate, then that's cool. But if you just getting a better job, it's elevating. That's cool too. And this is that's when we say purpose, we mean anything that's going to elevate you to a higher level. Because when you become a dad, you're going to elevate because you go from being a man to a father. And if you ain't got nothing in your brain, how you going to teach your son or daughter anything? So you better be elevating. You better be elevating and moving forward so that you can be able to continue your purpose. Did that make sense, brothers?
Yes, sir.
Brother, that makes sense. But before we go to the next question, check this out.
Go ahead.
I've had this appetite for ice, and I've been eating ice lately. And everybody be saying, "Boy, you better check your iron." But that's for women. Men don't have.
Boy, you better check your iron.
Now you got. I'm gonna have to hit you with a Muslim brother.
This is number one bullshit.
Look, if the audience have anything to say about men eating ice, do your research and call me.
No, but no, you don't have a problem with what I do understand you because you know my mom was in the medical field. You eating ice is just what you do. The things eating spinach, eating beets, a lot of different greens. That's what get you your iron in your system. And then some men do have low iron due to the fact they might be sickle cell, might have sickle cell, or they may have diabetes, something like that. So it can happen. But if you enjoy ice, you enjoy ice. That's your business.
But if it's a health concern, audience, tune in, call, chat, say something to me because I don't want to be eating ice. But I just thought of man. You know, the philosophy is that women, because they come on their menses, they lose a lot of blood or iron. Men, all we have to do is eat a steak or something like that. But if I'm in the wrong, please chime in and let me know because this ice, I got the ice from Circle K, bro. And man, y'all can't see that, man. That's the best chewing ice there.
Don't be showing these products. Ain't nobody giving us endorsements.
They ain't giving us no money.
Sponsored.
But they might start giving us this ice is on point, bro.
This show is not being endorsed by anybody. But on to the next. Okay, now on to the next one, right? Y'all see me pop it up a little bit earlier, and Mo kind of chimed in it already. And like I said, we trying to give some wisdom to people. And that next one was: Is chasing money the way to paradise? And when I say paradise, I mean for your own happiness, your well-being. You know, is it really what's going to make you happy chasing them dollar bills? Now, before y'all talk, you know how I do. I got a little clip for you. I always got that clip. Here's a clip.
It's a different version in their minds of paradise, like what that is. Some people know how to live better than others with or without money. They just sought out and picked a better person to share their time with. You feel what I'm saying? Even if you sleep in a one-bedroom apartment, then you may be richer than a rich guy. You see what I'm saying? Your life, the fabric of your life and what you're doing and how you feel about yourself at the moment. If the person if that's sufficient for them.
All right, did y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think? What did you think of what 50 had said?
You know, brother, when and I hate to keep going on this.
Go ahead.
I lost my fiance 6 weeks ago. I didn't marry her, so basically the daughter said you have to bounce from the house, and so I had to basically start from scratch. And you know, when you given a lot of people say I want a clean slate, and I go back to Job, a clean slate. When God gives you a clean slate, that means He takes everything from you, and you start from scratch. Homes, cars, jobs, you name it, can be taken from you like that, and then you're reposed, and you're right there naked, dealing with just yourself, your well-being, and God. And I think it's if you're on the money side of things, you think you're in hell. But if you're on the paradise side of things, you say, thank you, Creator, because now I can start fresh and all of my sins have been wiped away. When all of your sins have been wiped away, that means it's time to start building. That means you got nothing but land. You have nothing. And paradise, like a garden, as the Quran will call it, is soil. You got to start planting. You got to start putting seeds in. So for my life now, I got to start from scratch. I got to start growing. I got to start. And so paradise, there's some work to do. But I hope that I don't have the same bad habits that I had before. And what 50 said was quite extraordinary. Even though I lost a lot of material wealth, I'm in paradise because right now I have a clean slate and I can start fresh without all of the um, mistakes. And I don't want to be long winded. I always say that. You ever see those sci-fi movies where, and I think I probably shared this, where it's a sci-fi movie, they put on a hazmat suit and they go into a room and the back door is closed and you get sanitized and you get clean and you cannot go forth until you sanitize. Once you sanitize, then you can go into the next area. And the reason for that is all of that contamination can contaminate the next phase of your life. And so in paradise, at least I can say that even though everything is removed, but I'm being sanitized, that all of my bitterness, all of my negative thoughts, all of my contaminated thoughts can be sanitized so that I don't take that into my next relationship, so that I won't take that into my next life, that in my next paradise, I start with fresh soil. But with that fresh soil, I got to start planting seeds and I got to grow my paradise. I probably was off a little topic, but
No, you was right
obviously,
there. You
yeah.
was
So
right there.
paradise is a garden. You have to, as Adam did. Adam had a paradise, and God, the first thing Adam was given when he got that paradise was, look, bruh, you got to do some work. You got to go ahead and sow. You got to toil. You got to do some stuff, and then while you at it, stay away from that, because that right there can turn this paradise to hell real quickly.
Yeah. Now, Mo, did you say anything on this topic yet?
No, I didn't, but
Go
I
ahead.
was like talk stories, you know. The question is chasing money the way to paradise, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no. For me, no, because once I realized money ain't my paradise no more, things got better. But I always want to talk about the Shanti man. There's some man out there right now sleeping under a tree who woke up in the morning, rolled up his mat, and came to Abdul and said, "Good morning, Mr. Abdul. Salam alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam." And he said, "Mr. Shanti man, you hungry? Oh yeah, I could take a bit of it. You know what? I got some leftover pie and some breakfast and some coffee. Okay, you take some pie, you take some coffee. He break bread with you and he have a conversation in the morning. He says, "All right, Mr. Abdullah, I gotta go. I gotta go see Mr. Terrell." He gets to Terrell. He goes, "Terrell, what's going on, my brother? How you doing?" Terrell just finished preparing lunch. Or just had lunch, had some leftovers. Hey, Shanty man, you hungry? Just a little bit. And he gives him the leftover lunch. He comes by late on that night. Hey, Maurice, how you doing? What's going on? Shanty man, what's up? Shanty man, you hungry? Yep. He takes his food from me. Thank you, Maurice. I'll see you guys later. He goes back to that same tree, throws out his mat, and lays down. That's the Shanty man. The rich man up on the 49th floor. When the stock market go up, 2 hits of cocaine, and he's happy. Takes a shot of brandy, and he's happy. Next day, stock market crash. He jumped off the 49th floor.
Right.
Yeah.
That part.
So who's happy? The Shanty man making friends and bringing positivity to the 3 people that fed him today, or that dude sniffing some good cocaine and smoking a cigarette with some brandy who just jumped off the 49th floor.
Yeah.
You got to ask yourself that question.
Yeah.
At some point, when you understand that money is a tool like fire, get too close to it, it'll burn you. Too far away, you freeze. That means if you ain't making enough, you freezing. If you make it too much, you don't know what to help do to yourself. You're gonna burn yourself up. Ways to paradise. Sometimes it's not through money anymore. For me, I'm only speaking for me, because at one point when we all were young, we wanted money because of the situations that we're around. Do Donald Trump's sons chase money? Because why? Because he already got it. Do the Obama kids chase money? Why? Because they already got it. It's only us who never had it, who chase it, who want it, and think that that's going to be the tool to everything. But once you've made enough money, and you make enough money, and you get all the things you want, you got to one day wake up and look and say, what's my purpose? Where's my paradise? Is it in the money or is it not? When you start using things as a tool, well, you know what? I go back to saying, I'm going to keep saying it, the grandfather rule. I'll make enough money to give to my child, who will double it to give it to their child, and so on and so forth. And it's generational wealth. As a grandfather, I got to think about my grandkids, not just me. Think about how I'm going to leave a house, a car, leave things so that they could be elevated from the point where they need to get started. Think about this. When we graduated from Johnson Wells, did any of us have a mom or dad we could go to and be like, yo, I need a job? Oh, yeah, go to the 59th floor. Go talk to Tom. He'll take care of you. We had to find a purpose, and we get driven by money to think that would be a paradise once we start making it. Lo and behold, we all know now at 50, it didn't happen, and we still good with ourselves because we had a good purpose over the last 25 years. For when you're looking at TV, you're looking at Kanye West said, "What? I'm a billionaire. I don't wear my money on my neck," and everybody tuck their chains. When you see men with money and men with purpose, you don't see it on them. Jay-Z, if you look at some of his pictures from 1995, 1985 to 2005 to 2025, he ain't wearing jewelry. You take a picture, it's a painting worth $4 million behind him. That's what he's wearing. He's buying the most expensive home in California. As he said, I got the baddest chick in the game wearing my chain. You know, the bezels, the diamonds on my necklace, it's called a chain reaction because you see it and you react to it. You're fascinated by it. But at this point, what is his purpose? What is his paradise? Well, we both know he paradise because he got good things. And his real purpose right now is reform. Is reform. He's a billionaire that's trying to reform things.
Yeah.
You know, him and what's that guy named Rock Nation, Meek Mills and all of them, they're trying to do the reform thing. So where's paradise? At what point do you make so much money? Like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, billionaires, 120 billion. Warren Buffett, 90 years old, $120 billion, made his first billion back in 68, became a billionaire in 2008. Is he really looking for money? Or he's looking to continue to serve a purpose with that money? Because he signed a pledge to give away all his money before he died. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, a lot of them signed that pledge to give away the money. And if you look through history, Ford did it, Carnegie did it, all of the what's the other guy? Carnegie, not Rockefeller. Rockefeller.
Rothschild.
Yeah, they gave away more just as much as they made. Because at some point, I got all this money. What am I doing with it? What can I do? I got 15 villas, 15 cars. I got a school named after me. I got an army base. All this stuff there. What more can I do? So now you find the purpose. And truthfully speaking, what we're doing right now is a purpose. Because we're hoping that somebody that's looking at us, listen to us and our knowledge and our experience and things that we've done, and they're taking heed to it and they're moving on. I'm never gonna say stop chasing money because hell, you need it. If you ain't got it, you're gonna burn. The winter is coming. But
Terrell, Terrell, before I say something, I'm gonna let you say something. Then I'm gonna give my point of view. Go ahead.
Purpose has absolutely, when God gives you purpose, money is not a factor. There's been times I've had money, and I have money, and I tricked with it. Hotel after hotel after hotel, Chinese after black woman after Chinese after black woman.
This is number one bullshit.
Don't do that to me, bro. And at the end, at the end, after having money, hotels, and women, I was empty. I was empty as empty can be because Cupcake wasn't her real name. Mercedes wasn't her real name. And I could not ask her what was her goals in life. In fact, I couldn't even talk because the door was being knocked on with her next client, and I had to get gone after my 15 minutes was up. So I had money, I had girls, but at the end of the day, I was empty because I had no purpose. Until you get purpose, you will always be empty because you'll never be fulfilled. And until you are fulfilled in life, money doesn't do that. Now, God may have purposed Jay-Z to have money. He didn't purpose me to have money. In fact, I always tell the story, God purposely never made me 6'5" with muscles because I'll be a hoe. He never purposed me to wear a FOI uniform. You know why? Because I'll be a hoe. He never purposed me to sing. You know why? Because I'll be a hoe. I take everything that God gave me and purposely use it to find women because that was me or is me. So God, before, as Jeremiah said, I knew you before you was in the womb, before God put me in the sperm cell and delivered me. He said, this is what you're going to do. I'm not going to give you 6'5" height. I'm not going to give you muscles. Why, God? Because I need you to stay focused. All those things right there are going to be a distraction for your purpose. Now, what is my purpose? I learn when I'm dead and gone and I go back up to heaven or hell, whomever I go. But I can tell you that money, all of those hotel rooms, and then you know what? They said about hell. When you feed hell and you say, hell, are you hungry? Hell will say, hell no. Hell is never full. So my urges, no matter how much I fed my urges with promiscuous sex, it never fed that lust. And I tried to feed it for years, and it was never fed. And I was angry and hungry until I finally said, God, give me my purpose. Once I got my purpose, then I felt fulfilled. The appetite was filled. And I learned, okay, money can't fulfill my purpose. Hoes, hookers, whatever can't fulfill. Cupcake can't fulfill my purpose. Mercedes couldn't fulfill my purpose. I'm sorry, bro.
No problem, hey. I
just told you all my secrets.
Yeah. But I'm gonna say it like this: like, hopefully the people listening after the show, on the show, they got some good advice from brothers, and I just want to add my 2 cents in having to do it. The reason I chose the fact to chase money or chase your purpose. No, it's not. That's not the one we on. Does money bring happiness? Does money bring happiness? The reason I said that because I got a couple quick stories. First story is I knew a Muslim brother from Senegal, and he had showed me a video. This back when we used to have VHS tapes, right? And he said, "I'm gonna show you this video real quick." I said, "All right." He said, "Now I want you to pay attention to the video, and then I want you to see how happy they are." So he puts the video in. And he shows me a video of his village where he's at, and everybody had little huts and things like that. It wasn't Americanized, and it wasn't to the level of a westernized person, but everybody was happy. Everybody was, joyful and nice and everything was cool. When we talked about, we got to the point was you don't need all of those materialistic things. You don't need to be chasing the West to be happy. So I got that from him way back then. The second story is I had a young lady I knew. She worked in corporate America. She had a corporate credit card. She worked for the VP of the company. She had a big check she used to get every week, but she used to spend it like she was a mad woman. So then after she didn't have the job anymore, she was back to square one. All right. So I put the two and two together and say, hey, and I tell this to young people all the time. It's not how much money you make, what you use it for and how you use it. Like Maurice was saying, be that old man and set up some stuff for the future for your grandkids. Just because you could afford a Louis Vuitton whole outfit, suit, sneakers, hat, belt, all that stuff, don't mean you need to buy it. Just because you can afford 50 cars, you only could drive one at a time. Doesn't mean you need to buy it. But what you should be doing is make sure you're living nice, because we all, like you said, money is supposed to be a tool to survive. So as long as you're surviving, like he told a story about the brother that lived under the tree, he woke up every morning, he got food all day long, and he got a place to lay his head back down again. He was cool. So my whole point is, like, don't let money be the thing that you're chasing in this world and think that's what's supposed to make you happy, or what, like the brother 50 said, you think that's your paradise because you make all this money, or you gotta look a certain kind of way. You can be happy, like he said, living in a 1-bedroom apartment. If you got the right partner with you, the right spouse, the right person, the right mindset, and take care of your business, you'll be fine. So that's all I wanted to say, having to do with that topic. Now, the last one before we get up out of here is this last one, and I want Mo done dipped on this. He always messing with that.
Yeah, he'll be back.
But what I was gonna say was the next one, right? Is should you play victim or should you strive to be victorious? Now, the reason I bring this topic up is because of the fact that when we brothers went to our reunion, we had this men's circle.
Right, I recall.
Yeah, Brother Terrell talked and Brother Mo talked. Hopefully, Mo will get back in here. Oh, there he is. But let me. You try to dip out on us. Yeah, okay, let me finish what I was saying. So when we had the circle, we had one of our frat brothers. He took the "woe is me" approach. He was like, "Oh, woe is me! I did this. I almost killed myself. Things of that nature." Well, Brother Mo was stop playing victim. And that's why I came up with the phrase, don't be a victim, be a victor. Be a victor, meaning win some stuff. Get your life right. So that's why I came with that. Now, before we get into it, I'm gonna hit this this clip from the world-renowned actor that all the ladies love. But here we go.
You got talent. You got a chance, and I want to hear about your environment, what your mama didn't give you, and the white man won't give you no shot. You got a chance. Use it while you're still alive. You don't know what death is. You have no idea what death is. Make a decision.
So yeah, I want to hit you with that because that's how Mo was. Mo was like, yo, stop crying about what your mama ain't do for you, what your daddy ain't did this. The white man won't give me nothing. He's a racist, and the cops is always chasing me. I'm driving down the street with no license. No. He said, get it together, man. You got a chance. So that's all I wanted to say now. Brothers, chime in.
Okay, I'm gonna kick that off right quick. that video right there, the passion that Denzel had in his face, that he's probably one of our most prolific thespians that we have in our modern era. Um, the way he spoke was as if a father would speak to his son, although that was a 30-second acting. I'm gonna tell you something. I really believe that those guys are gone, and I think that we are those last guys. Unless you've been through something, you can't tell nobody nothing. A saint is only a sinner who got up. If you've never been tested, you would never have a testimony. And when I spoke that day, as soon as he opened his mouth within the first 30, 60 seconds, I felt something. And I was like, we can't have this kumbaya of pity. I'm not discounting his story or discounting anything that he said because I admire him for saying it. But I didn't want to poison the rest of the environment because we came in on a good environment. We came up for a good weekend. We were doing a lot of good work emotionally, psychologically, through camaraderie. And I enjoyed all of it. And I wanted people to leave with that feeling. What I said that day was pure off the cuff inspiration. And as my brother Terrell would say, God gave me purpose that day. And that's what I did. Don't ask me where
You,
it came from. Don't ask me
I,
how it came out of me. I don't know.
I wrote
I was
about it,
touched.
bruh. I
I was
wrote
touched.
about it. I wrote it. Look, I ain't gonna talk about my book that's coming out, but I wrote about it. And if y'all
Hold
give
up,
me a
one
chance,
second, give me 1 second. I told y'all earlier that we didn't have a sponsor for this show, but we have an author here, and his book will be coming out real soon. And y'all
right,
need to get your copy.
right,
He'll tell you about it later
yeah,
before we get up out of here. But get that book.
right. It's squash the beef and
Squash the
and
beef.
and squash the beef and accept your purpose. Now, in this, I wrote that situation because we went to the mission where there was a lot of homeless brothers from the community, and in this circle, and I'm gonna read it to you. It's called "Get Back in the Fight," and this is unscripted, and this is what I wrote. And Abdullah, brother, I'm going to chime you in too because I did write about you as well. My line brother Abdullah shared his wisdom. This is from the book Squash the Beef, coming out soon. My line brother Abdullah shared his wisdom. Whatever God wants for you, no one can stop it. And whatever God doesn't want you to have, no one can give it to you. That was my daily bread. When it was time for me to get my home, God had me. Now, the next paragraph is called Get Back in the Fight. As the brothers shared their woes, listen to this. As the brothers shared their woes, I could feel my line brother Mo Solomon becoming agitated. Something was biting him. He was unsettled at the pity party that we were having. He chose to speak last and close out the meeting. Brother Mo said, "We all have similar stories of hardship and pain, but let's stop pitying ourselves. It's time to get back into the fight." He shared Mike Tyson's quote, "Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth." So true. Life had punched us all in the mouth, but it was time we got back in the fight. Mo then shared marvelous Marvin Hagler's quote, "A champion shows who he is by what he does when he's tested. When a person gets up and says, 'I can still do it,' he's a champion." The men in the circle smiled in agreement. Brother Mo closed the meeting by saying that when an athlete runs through the tunnel, the fans can cheer for or against him. Whether cheering for you or booing, let the cheers motivate you to keep going. Don't lay about in failure. Get back up. Get back in the fight of life. Brother Mo left the circle with a resounding applause. We were motivated to get back into into the battle of life. He was on assignment by the Creator. Bro, you touched me so much. I wrote about it, bro. You had not just the Sigma brothers in tears, but you had the community brothers that was homeless saying, "Go on, bro. I'm getting back in this fight." I don't know. Well, I know God was in you that day, brother, and you delivered that, brother. So it was enough to touch me to say, both of y'all touched me enough to say, I gotta write about this, man.
The thing is, either things make us bitter or better. Things make us or break us. We've all had bad breakups, divorces, losses of all sorts and suches. To each pain was individual. I can't share your pain, the empathy and the sympathy, unless I went through the same thing. But then there's still a divide between the two of us because what happened to you happened to me, but it didn't happen in the same way. And you know, throughout our lives, we will always be criticized, put down, and kicked. They kicked and killed Jesus, but he still was the savior. They've kicked and killed a lot of people like Dr. King, RFK, JFK, Patrice Lumumba, all these different people. They knocked them off in the 60s. I mean, they knocked them down. I'm still surprised that Farrakhan's still walking. He must have made a deal with the devil. But we know, that the pain hurts, and I believe that you have to be touched. You cannot have puppy paws in life. If you get a puppy and you touch his paws, oh my God, they feel so soft and cuddly. Come back 3 years later when he been walking on that hot concrete, they feel like dog paws, you know. And I feel that no matter what happened to us in life, that next day, if we get a chance, we need to come out fighting. Like I said that night, it's easy to go run when you got 500. Hard to go run when you got 5 million. It's hard to most people who skyrocket like a supernova to the top burn out just as fast as they skyrocketed. Our sun is over 1 billion years old, and it's been keeping us warm and cold for the last 14 billion, whatever many years it's been doing it for us. And that's how I feel about us as people. Either you're a victor or a victim. And they say the spoils go to the victor. So every day must be spoils. And we can culminate all the conversation and paragraphs that we've had here. And we talk about purpose, paradise, victor, all that stuff is essential for mental building for men and women and people. Once you start forming, once you start storming, and once you start collectively getting things together and reform all that together, you become a better man in purpose. It is harder to do the right thing than it is to do the wrong thing. It's hard, to stand up so that when you walk in the light or in the dark, people still see the same. Because people will easily tear you down more than they'll build you up. But the greatest thing that people will do for you is build you up. I always tell the story about Mike Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion of the world, made the most money in heavyweight boxing, but they'll never let you forget that he raped a girl. They'll never let you forget he spent 3, 4, 5 years in prison in Indiana. They'll never let you forget that. So you have to allow yourself to be beaten by life in order to know life and to walk in this purpose. You said it. It takes 40 years to become a man. Imagine what you go through from 0 to 40. The loss of love, the loss of money, the loss of material. I can guarantee you have more clothes that you forgot about than you ever wore before. You've had more money, spent more money than you ever made before. But I do feel that you have to get out that bed every morning. Some people sleep in dark rooms. That's one of the worst things you ever could do because the sun is a natural melatonin to wake you up and put you to sleep. It's natural. So you want to sleep with a window open or next to a window because when that sun rises, you want to rise with it because you're building up that temple, that mind that you got, that you bringing it all together. Say a prayer before you go brush your teeth. Ask God for forgiveness and strength. They said that with the AA prayer to give me the strength that I can do the things that I can control. And I don't know the prayer specifically, but in AA it talks about give me the control to control the things I can't, and have the mind to know the things that I can't. You can't control which way the wind will blow. You can't control which way a person will go. You can better predict what a dog will do than a human being. You got a dog and you got a wife. No disrespect to women. I'm not trying to knock down women. I do want to put that caveat out there. I'm going to make an example. I'm not trying to hurt nobody. Let's reverse it. A woman got a man and a dog. She can better deal with the dog than she can deal with the man. How is that? Because she can better predict what the dog will do than what the man will do. Dog ain't gonna go cheat on her. Dog ain't gonna run around on her. But that man will. And you can't predict that. So we get beat in life. We get beat by our mothers. We get beat by our friends. We get beat by our families, co-workers. We get beat every day. Hell, we get beat by nature. You get into a car accident. Somebody hits you. They wasn't looking. They was on their phone. Boom, they hit you. Now you done lost your damn car. Now you got to figure out how you going to make this happen. But you can't let it get you down. Can't ever let you down. Sometimes I've had money in my pocket, and sometimes I didn't. And I had just as much good time with money and without. Some of my days, I can go back to running up the brown having a good time. What was back then? $10 and it was good. So you have to every day live in your purpose, live in your paradise, live in your all. It ain't getting no better. It ain't getting no better. Because if you are 50 and you have acquired all of what you've acquired right now will probably be all that you've acquired right now. Because it's going to take you a hump to get up and keep going. And the hardest part of your day is what? Getting up. Finding out, what am I here for? What am I doing here? I just read an article about a postal guy. He's like 90 years old. He started his job in like 1955 or something like that. Still don't want to quit. He's 90 years old. But that's giving him purpose every day, getting up, talking to the young people. Everybody call him pops, grandpa, whatever. But that gives him purpose. That gives him a sense of being. He did every job in the post office he can handle, can be offered to him. It's a great story of perseverance. Imagine how many kids he raised through college, through this, through that. 90 years old, that's 3 generations, because every 25 years is a generation. That was him, his kids, and his grandkids. And everybody look up to him. They look to him for advice and things like that. Once you become a person of wisdom and you have something to show and tell back to others, that's when you find the purpose. But you got to go through something to get there. You just can't wake up and think, oh, I'm there. It ain't going to happen. You got to be at your lowest of lows in order to get to your highest of highs. That's all day. That's facts. That's nature. Look at all the stories. We talk about Joseph. If we said to Joseph, you will sit upon the throne. But the first thing you got to do is get beat up by your brothers, thrown in the pit, thrown in jail, then you'll sit upon the throne. Shit. Joseph probably be like, nah, man, I'm good. Your purpose, your end product will not be there until the plan is posed by God. It's ordained. It's your purpose. It's not mine. For whatever purpose, whatever way the plan is going. If you know by starting a business, you're gonna have a lot of long nights, a lot of long days, not going on vacation. It ain't gonna be no easy walk. A lot of people won't start it. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, there's only 3% of people in the state of Texas that own small businesses. 3%, and I think it's like 30 million people in the state of Texas. The odds of winning are fractional in comparison to the odds of losing. I think they said a business, if you get past the first 3 years, it's good. I mean, there's a lot of things. If you could think about this when we were young, I remember in a dorm saying to myself at 21, oh, I made it. I'm 21. What the hell, or why the hell was I thinking that because I made 21 that I made it? My life hadn't even started yet. But because of the crime, the poverty, and all the matrix that was happening at the time that it was happening, I was just happy with being 21. Now, some 30 plus years later, God, that was a dumb thought to think that I'd made it at 21. If I'd have died at 21 in the day, I'd be like, oh, I made it, I'm 21. Now, I don't even want to die. Frankie Crocker once said, may I live to be 100 and you 101, so that I know that good people like you have not passed away. And you got to ask yourself, who are you? What are you doing? Being a victim or a victim? Because it's very easy to get on your soapbox and cry, woe with me, take drugs, take pills, take alcohol, and whatever else to cope with it. But until you grab hold of it and cope with it, because I don't care what anybody tell me, we all suffer from some type of mental disorder, whatever way it might be, whatever shape, form, or fashion. Do you remember the commercial in the 80s? This is your brain on drugs? Ask yourself, do you want to be an omelet or do you want to be a boiled egg? Right? Check this little metaphor out. Check this metaphor out. Right?
Brother,
Check
you
this
have
out.
me up to that point. You took a good nice.
I'm about to pull you right back in. Watch what I say. Once you crack that egg, either you make an omelet or you scramble it. The omelet, you put little stuff in it, make it look cute, but it's still a cracked egg. A scrambled egg, it ain't not much of nothing. Maybe throw some cheese on top. But if you boil the egg, it's still whole inside and out. Ask yourself, do you want to be whole inside and out, or you want to be scrambled up? What a lot of us are omelets that I put a lot of shit on, like glasses and fake eyelashes and fake this and fake that and all this, because I'm an omelet. I look cute. Or the other side of that omelet is a scrambled egg with a little bit of cheese. Or
That's
are
a
you
fact.
or a boiled egg,
inside
right?
and out? You hold inside your heart and outside your heart. You hold 100, right? Ask yourself that question. What you want to be?
So, are you gonna be a devil's egg?
You still whole, baby. Still, it's crazy. It's simple.
I understand.
It's very
But you know,
goofy,
yeah.
but you got a lot of empty
Hey,
people out here. A lot of them.
but I can go deeper with that. That ball egg thing do make sense because when you in the water, it's boiling. You going through pressure, going through hotness, whatever, but you still hold, baby. I ain't
Still
going
whole.
nowhere. And
You
even
ain't
when they
going
pull you,
nowhere.
and then when they pull you out and crack your shell, you
I'm still
still got
there.
cracked up, but you still a whole egg, bro.
Still
The
the whole
whole
egg.
egg.
Sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, like, oh, this goofy story about egg. But look how simple that is, though, bro. Look how simple that story is. An egg, a boiled egg that's whole inside and out. Or somebody that's an omelet, got a car, got a Mercedes or a house and all this, and they can't afford none of it because their omelet look cheap. Oh, I made an omelet. Oh, I just scrambled it. Oh, I'm boiled and I'm whole. And like you said, go through all the pressures of hot to cold. And I still came out whole.
And
You
you
gotta ask
only
yourself
get
that, bro.
and you only can get this type of wisdom from chefs from Johnson and West.
Hey,
That part.
hey, I want credit for that in squash beef. I want credit for that.
Done.
Yeah. But Mo, don't go nowhere when we say we about to be out. Don't go nowhere. Just stay right where you at. Before we get out of here, I'm gonna let Terrell say what he got to say. And you know what you're supposed to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Pass this on to other people. If you made it all the way to the end where we at right now, we'd like to thank you. Because we need supporters like you. People that's listening to stuff that makes sense and they're gonna pass it on to the next person. So share it to whoever you think this can help out. You know, that's what we need you to do. And support us. Thank you. Okay, Terrell, go ahead and say what you gotta say.
Family, look, bruh, sis, share your story, bruh. Sis, share your story. Because at the end, you're nothing but a story. Jesus was nothing but a story at the end. Moses was nothing but a story at the end. So your purpose, all that we talked about at the end is going to be a story that we share about you or somebody share about you. And if you go off the purpose, guess what? You're still a story. We still going to say, there go that beep, 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 beep that didn't do good. So you're going to be a story, whether it's a good story or a bad story. You're going to be a story. Live your purpose, live your story. You share your story, and may God continue to bless you. Live on. Peace, love. May God bless you.
Peace. And we'll see y'all next week, 7:05. Same Friday nights. Peace out. And those who know, same bad channel, same bad time.